Good evening. Welcome to the Oaklawn Handicapping Hour. Marco, good evening. Stevie D, how you doing? Good to see you. Everybody, welcome Steve DeCaspers. He's no
I can't hear
stranger.
him.
You can't hear me?
No, I can hear you. I can't hear Steve, the other Steve.
Oh,
nope.
Not yet. Got something going on, Stevie, but you'll fix it. You'll fix it. But anyway, Steve DeCaspers is no stranger to contest play. I pulled up Steve's bio in the NTRA.com, and he said some really great scores and some heartbreaking losses. Marco, one year he lost, I want to say by 20 cents to get in the top 10. And I don't know, Marco, were you there that year?
You know what? I think I was actually.
Yeah, that was a tough.
Oh, Marco was definitely there. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I hear you. I hear you.
Good.
So, yeah, the contest play, it really sucks for us. Hawthorne's been closed, Stevie, and it's a vice. It was like my favorite thing to do. Thanksgiving weekend. They had a big contest in June, and of course the Hawthorne Invitational. Those have all gone by the wayside. Hopefully they are brought back at some point in the future. So I've been scrambling, trying to figure out what I'm going to do for my contest play. I haven't really played a lot online. I do plan on going down to Sam Houston. I did win a seat online to get down there, and I'm trying to get another one. And if I don't get one, I'll just buy in. But I'm going down there. They do a great job. And then I don't know if you've heard, but I know you have. There is an Oaklawn contest coming up on Southwest weekend. I know they kind of sprung this on us last second, so to speak. We didn't get a lot of time to prepare for it, but I have the information here on their website. It's called the Oaklawn Horseplayers Championship, and it's Southwest weekend. So there's a game on Southwest day called the Southwest Showdown. It's $1,000 buy-in, $750 live money with $250 going to the prize pool. And then the next day is the actual Horse Players Championship, where they're giving out BCBC, some other prizes. You can win your way in on that on Southwest Day for the $3,500. So I understand. I think you can play online. I did get an email from the boys at Oaklawn. They're still working out a few more details, and they have a registration form on here that I guess you can click on there. Where to play? It says you can play at Oaklawn or online, with details coming soon. So I plan on playing for sure Southwest Day, and we'll see if I'll buy in on the next day or if I win a seat. But
yeah, some people might consider $3,500 to be a steep entry fee, but I'll tell you what I've been told is if I was just blindly playing Marco's picks for the last few race days, I would have enough money to buy 2 entries.
Yeah, Marco, you've been on fire. The guy I think he hit a pick 5 for like 11 or 10 grand, and then he hit the pick 4 the next day, and several other winners. Marco, tell us a little bit about what you've been hitting lately.
I don't know. It's just some of the horses been coming in. I didn't like Thursday's card, which was yesterday. Today's was a little bit better. It kind of sucked. I did hit a pick 4 today, though. It was, yeah, it's a small one. It was like $70. I hit it like 4 times, but
okay.
It's a couple $100. It was like, I don't know, $300. A couple bombs came in I didn't have. it was weird how the days, like yesterday was more speed, today was more honest, more fair. So, and yesterday I played more of a fair track, and today I went with speed, and it was vice versa. So it's a little bit unpredictable. Asmussen is heating up, and he's been heated up. He's
he really got on. He's off to a great start so far at the meet, because last year, if you remember, he was terrible at the start of the meet. I want to say he was at like 8% going into the Rebel weekend, which was atrocious. But yeah, he's off to a hot start. I'm looking at the prize pool here. Southwest Showdown Day, 2 NHC seats. You can take your pick of 26, or if you're double qualified for 27. They're giving out 4 Oaklawn Horseplayers Championship seats, which are the $3,500 seats for the next day. And of course, both days have a cash prize. And of course, on Oaklawn Horseplayers Championship Day, they're giving out Kentucky Derby betting championship seats, and BCBC, and 4 NHC. So there's a lot of prizes. It looks like there's 8 prizes on the following day. So, it'll be good. It'll be fun. I'll be involved one way or another with that. I'm going to be there in person. It's my aunt's birthday that weekend. Plus, I like hanging out at the track. So if you guys want any other information on that, go to Oaklawn Park's website and feel free to peruse the information there. You guys, so yeah, I'll be at Sam Houston first. I'm going to fly into Sam Houston down there for their tournament, which I love every year. They have the Pegasus. I know Justin Dew is having his 50th birthday party at Pegasus Day. Is that true? Is that a thing, or
is that
going on? Okay, are you going to be there? Are you going to be there?
So I'm gonna break some news here on the Oaklawn Capping Hour. I will not be. I've actually enrolled in graduate school, believe it or not, and
Wow.
And yes, and I have to be in Knoxville at the University of Tennessee from January 16th to the 25th, and unfortunately, that kills my Justin Dew birthday party attendance. It kills my Pegasus dreams. It kills my Pompano Park NHC qualifier dreams, which is happening on the 25th. I don't.
Oh wow!
At Caesar's Pompano, I believe that's where it is. I think I'm getting that right. I might be wrong, but it's somewhere down in Miami. So I had a big plan. Those plans have shifted. I'm doing grad school, and that's going to mean my horse playing takes a second stage to some of the work I have to put in to do that. And believe me, let me just say this. It was a photo, whether or not I enroll in this program or I attend Justin Dew's birthday party. I will tell you, it was close.
His birthday party is at the worst time. It's sandwiched in between 2 tournaments, my aunt's birthday party. And I'm always at Oaklawn Park that time of year anyway, usually. And I play in the Sam Houston tournament every year as opposed to the Pegasus one, because, I could just play online.
Yeah.
For the Pegasus, where the Sam Houston one I can't. So it's just bad timing. But I'll probably send him a little gift in the mail.
Yeah.
Marco, so for Oaklawn, it's Smarty Jones Day for tomorrow. I'm going to actually be driving in a car with our father. Driving south, we're going to Hot Springs.
Oh yeah, I forgot that you guys were even coming.
Yeah, we're leaving tomorrow. I'll be down there for racing on Sunday, and the weather for tomorrow looks good. It's going to be mostly sunny, 52. But on Sunday, it's warming up, and then Marco, on Monday, it's going to be in the 60s. I'm bringing my golf clubs.
Yeah, we can go play around. I'm in.
All right, good. If you can get us in at the country club, or Zach on Monday, get a tee time set up, I greatly appreciate it.
I'm gonna make that text right now.
Yeah, make that text. Let's get that set. Maybe we can get Vinny out there. Whoever wants to come with us, we could play best ball, whatever. So the weather's going to be sunny tomorrow. It's not going to be muddy, and that's going to be good for racing for our purposes if you handicap the card. Speaking of the card, let's dive into it without further ado. And the first race is looks like a starter allowance for 50,000 horse. Here, let's look at the condition. It's
And conditions are super important here, Steve-O. This is
Yep.
a really, really important condition race.
right.
It's
4-year-olds
the first
and up.
note I made.
4-year-olds and up, which have started for a claiming price of 50,000 or less, and which have never won a race other than maiden claiming. So it's almost kind of like a other than starter type.
It is an A other than starter. That's exactly what it is. And you'll note, you can go through the PPs and look and see that there are a bunch of horses in here who've only won once. There are several horses in here who have managed to win, usually in the claiming ranks or in the starter ranks, several times, and that was key to my handicapping in this race.
Yeah, well, why don't you start us out?
I just think the condition is a really curious condition. You'll note Oaklawn has really interesting starter conditions. You'll note the 3 Stoke the Fire ran in a starter non-winners of 3 lifetimes. So it's this weird combination of allowance and starter conditions, which I think make it very interesting. I'm going to pick something that sounds a little nuts. I mean, there's nothing like starting off with 30-1 on the morning line, but I'm really interested in the number 2 horse, Dynamis. This horse has 3 wins from 19 starts, 2 of 7 at Oaklawn, 2 of 7 winning at Oaklawn, and 2 third-place finishes. And what I'll say about Dynamis is he ran fast enough to win this race on May 3rd of 2025, going 1 mile and a 16th with a stalking trip. He came back after a 3 or 4-ish month layoff, broke from the 12 hole, chased a very fast pace in what I have as a very tough race, and honestly gave it up midway around the far turn. I honestly don't think it was nearly as bad as it looks on paper. So I'm going to forgive that. He's come back with a good bullet work on Christmas Day. Think about how well you have to feel about a horse to work him on Christmas Day, right? But a good bullet work on Christmas Day. I see the 7 and the 9 going to the front, creating a pace situation where this horse can stalk and then go on and blow up the tote board at 30-1.
I'm watching a replay of his race that you referenced where he won. He's the 5 horse in here at
he's coming here and he just gets tired.
And I see there he is. He's taking the lead here. And it was a good bold sweeping move, and now he's just gonna kind of canter home here, it looks like.
This is the race last year. Yeah.
No, yeah. This is the race last year.
Yeah.
And he won relatively easy there, and he got a good number.
Yeah. It's gonna take an 80 buyer speed figure to win this race, and there are only a couple horses in here who can do it. And I think he's one of them.
Wow, that's very interesting. The Christmas Day thing, that's pretty amazing. You do have did you mention the weight on the bug rider? Because this bug rider was over 10% before coming over here. Marco, do you know anything about this rider?
On
Huckabee.
Okay, I'm going to tell you something about this jockey. This jockey in the first race today, he's the one who messed up a pick 5 for me, and I would have had it like 5 times. Okay, that's the jockey. He was 0 for going into today. He won the very first race today.
Oh wow! Okay, off the schneid.
7-1 on a horse that is owned by Linda Robbins, which is the farm over here where we
is that Starfish?
Starfish Stables, yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of like the horse, but I couldn't go for 0% jockey. And so he popped his cherry today. Other than that, he's one for whatever. But
okay,
yeah,
well,
I'm a little mad at him.
Well, you know what? Opening weekend, they brought it here, showed a little, it was out in the no man's land, got in the race early and just folded up the tent. Better post today and has come back like Steve has said, with a beautiful drill. And, that race, if you can get that race from last year, why the hell not? And it's a big price at the very least. You could throw it in underneath. I landed on the one horse, right on. And I just think the price isn't spectacular or anything, but it's claimed into the Hartman barn, and Hartman is starting to heat up. And, you notice he's 13% all of last year, but he's typically over a 20% trainer, 25% trainer at Oaklawn. For some reason, the tough Oaklawn meet is where Chris Hartman excels. Everywhere else, he doesn't win. It's usually the opposite for a lot of trainers. So, he's starting to heat up. He's got 3 wins now. He got off to a relatively slow start. I think he was 0 for maybe his first 10 starts. So he's probably hit 3 of his last 12 without even looking. And he brings this one into the barn, has a nice little work tab locally here, has never run here, but I like when they at least work here and they work well. And, Hartman claims it for 30 and wants to protect it here. That gives me a lot of, hopes and dreams for him in this spot. Again, 7-2, nothing to write home about. And Bacon is, I remember talking to this guy. He was riding for us a couple of years down there. He said his idol was Kelvin Burrell, and he said he likes to take that rail move like he did. And he might get an opportunity to do just that with this horse today at a lukewarm short price here at 7-2. Let's see, Marco, we're all over the place. So you're on the 7 as your top pick. Expect the best. It's 9-2 for Ron Moquette.
Well, I did take a good hard look at Dynamis. And the thing that kind of got me off of that horse was the jockey. That was yesterday.
And now you're feeling a little bit better about it since the win?
Hey, winning is, what do they say, contagious?
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, I like Louis Saez a lot better. Moquette just claimed this horse. So, and he's 1 for 1 at the mile distance. He should be up early. I'm just hoping that speed is going to be holding and more prominent in the wins tomorrow for Smarty Jones. Maybe they did something to the track to keep these.
Oh, boy, don't tell me. Well, Bob Baffert didn't ship in, right? So hopefully
sometimes I see that shift where they come off the pace and all of a sudden big stakes days.
Yeah, I hate that.
So I'm hoping he is up there early. I think he's going to be faster than most of these in here. And I like Louis Saez on the front end, and his Oaklawn works aren't great, but the horse should be in form. Broke out left lead last out. So I don't even know if it was the cleanest of the trips. So 9-2, I'll take it.
All right, 9-2, you'll take it. 8. You have a 4-1 shot underneath for Randy Morris. Really nice work tab there on that one as well, off a little bit of a break. And ran twice here in the past. Didn't embarrass itself, but it didn't hit the board either. Me and Stevie D land on the 3 as our backup. Stoke the Fire. Makes sense for a good trainer like Cipriano Contreras, who's off to a relatively slow start, but Esquivel in the iron, second off the layoff angle, and might be a little bit more, should be tightened up. All right, I think we covered that one pretty well. Let's look at the next race. The second leg of the pick 6 is race 7. It's an optional claiming 20,000. A other than. These are for state breds. These are Arkansas breds. They're going 3/4. And Marco, you want to start us off because you love these Arky breds. Actually, you guys are going to be in for a treat here. We all picked the same horse.
Oh, well, look at that. Look at that.
And
Geniuses think alike, I
we all
suppose.
picked the same horse, and you guys picked the Colt Exacta 11-12. I
Yeah.
got the 5 in the mix. But Marco, you love these Arkansas breds. You breed them and all that junk. Let's tell us about the 11.
Well, we got a first time gelding, Moquette and Sias connection again. I mean, that work on December 27th was it just popped off at the page to me. In the short, he should be prominent, up in position early. Ran in the Rainbow, missed last year, lost by a length. This is a good horse for an Arkansas bred, coming off the shelf since last June. Doesn't scare me with that last work. Moquette is 18% coming off this angle, and I'm not worried about that last race at Indiana. The Indiana and Oaklawn connection, it doesn't mix well. So Indiana horses to me don't really run that well here, or they haven't been this year. So I'm not worried about that last race.
I've got the last work here on December 27th. It looks like Rock Solo is on the inside here. That's a snappy 47-4 work here. And let's just kind of see what the exercise rider is doing here. He's in the black on the rail, kind of within himself here. Coming down the lane here. Hasn't really moved, hasn't asked him, hasn't whipped it or done anything. And again,
A lot of scrubbing on the outside.
Yeah, the outside's got a little bit of hand movement.
They both worked well.
Yeah, they both work good. Let's check out.
I want to know who was on the outside.
I like the
really.
Yeah, they're galloping out well, and that was a good move for both of them. Roxel did a little bit better, but yeah, some good things to look at there and on that last work. So if that's any indication of what might happen here off the layoff, that's good. I like the horse because these 3 to 4 and they're gelded. I like that. The nuts off angle, the Carl Broberg nuts off angle. And we just looked at that work that I made a note of too. And I feel like this one's ready, but the pilot really kind of tips it in favor. When you get Sias on an Arkansas bred, or any horse for that matter, it gives us a lot of hope. Stevie, 5-1. What do you think here?
This feels like one of these races where, some races you look at things and go, oh, let me evaluate all these horses and figure out who's going to win or how the pace is going to set up or something like that. I just sort of gravitated to the 11. And again, I'll be honest with you, until Marco said it, I didn't even realize it was first time gelding. Sias, Moquette off the layoff, but more than anything, I'm looking at a horse who ran I'm looking at a horse who ran 70 and 75 buyer speed figures at 2 and 3. Now getting that layoff, that jump from June of your 3-year-old year to January of your 4-year-old year, these horses can make really, really good progress. And then I'm looking at everything else and going, this can be it. If this horse gets, this is one of these things where if you get the fair price of 5-1, it's great. If you end up at 3-1 or 7-2, sometimes you have to be disciplined enough to say, I'm going to watch this one. And then sometimes these types go off, at 6-1 and you feel like Christmas has come early. I just had a note here. I feel like fading the 5. There's nothing wrong with the 5 per se, and he will be a worthy favorite.
Right.
But he just hasn't done anything that's impressed me. He looks vulnerable on paper. That's all I'll say. And that's why I went to it. So then you go, what do I kind of try and connect with this horse in exotics? And I wrote the 12 down here, right? And I stand by that. I'll just say that I think the 8 has every right to run a big number in the exotics as well. I just don't think that horse I don't think 6 furlongs is what that horse wants to do.
Yeah, the 12 does look interesting. It's 5-2. McPeak has been doing really well. I will say Nikolai, one reason why I have it is my backup. The race wasn't slow by any stretch of the imagination, and I like the second blinkers angle, second timeout blinkers angle. It's something that served me well in the past. A lot of times it takes a race for horses to get used to it and then get a couple of weeks of training, and then they pop usually even better next time out. So that's kind of why I landed there. But the price is very unattractive on that 5. But yeah, I think we're all on the right horse here. We got the right pilot. We've got the horse that's probably bigger, faster, stronger now as a 4-year-old since it ran, during the Triple Crown season last year. And the last work that we showed you kind of grabbed our attention. It was he was well within himself. The exercise rider never even moved, and it looked like a pretty good gallop out as well. This horse has sprinted in the past. It's run against Open Company. These are Arkansas breds. I guess, the only other time it ran here at Oaklawn sprinting, well, it actually ran twice, one Open Company, the other one was a stake. You guys don't think they're using this as a prep for a route, or do you think Ron really thinks this is like a sprinter?
Well,
I don't think they know what to do with this horse.
Okay. Yeah.
Me either. But he's never sprinted on fast dirt. So
Okay.
We'll see and then we'll see
Duly
what happens.
noted. Yeah, duly noted on that.
Can
All
I,
right, so
I want to make one other comment here. I was looking at my notes. This is also the type of race where I would gravitate toward a speedy horse who could maybe, beat them out of the gate and just go on with it, right? And that attracted me to the $2 Eddie. What I'll say is this: that is the type of horse I would typically look to in this type of race. You're just going to get out. That horse wants the lead. He's absolutely going to go. I don't know if there's much else in here that's just hell bent for the front end. The only problem is Greg Compton is as cold as any trainer I've ever seen. Is 0 for 18 with 1 third place finish. So again, my natural instincts on the horse are to go one way. It's a little bit like Marco liking the horse, but man, just not being able to get there with the connections. So I don't know what's going on with Greg Compton's barn, but I'm just gonna have to watch that. I'm gonna have to leave that horse behind today. I just wanted to mention that.
I will say this. I think you're absolutely right about this horse getting the lead. I remember this horse at the meet last year, and we were always saying the same thing. This horse is going to the front, and it always got caught. And I was picking it early. It got caught. I would get off it. You could see it was well backed. It's been well backed many times. Last year, the April 19th race, people, got off of it, but that was because it was facing winners for the first time. But it's that work on the 20th. It's very fast. The horse is fast. It will have the lead early. We'll see if that one can continue to get the distance and finish the race here. All right, we're going to move on to the next race. It's race 8. It's a straight A other than, no optional tag. It's 4-year-olds and up. It's a 1 1/16. It's 115,000 here for the winter meet. And our picks we're kind of all over the place here, guys. I'll start us off. I'm way on the outside with the 13. I landed on, and that's if this horse gets in. Now I picked the DeVito runner here last time, and I was disappointed. And I was like, well, maybe they'll stretch it back out. I was thinking internally, well, here we are. We're stretched back out. Last year, it ran a really good race here, going to 1 1/16 on March 8th. Finished second that day. And now we had the proverbial disappointing race. We did bobble. We were the beaten favorite. We're stretching back out, but it has shown the ability to do so, and it has shown the ability to do so here. So I was like, I'm going to give this one a crack. Now at Oaklawn, you don't see a lot of scratches, so there's a chance that it won't get in. If that's the case, I move one spot into Hartman, who claims this horse for 50 in a non-2 life event. It wins at Churchill in the slop. They're going to route it here, and he's protecting it. And I like that move from Hartman if he's showing a lot of confidence in the horse. And furthermore, I like the price. It's 15-1. It didn't run slow. It might be running faster now. And if he's feeling his oats with the new connections, maybe he can fire a big race here at 15-1. Steve, you landed on the 6 in this spot, who is Super Cruise.
Yeah. So yeah, this isn't super creative. But so I'll just say this. Number one, you got to always bet against horses like the 3. You get that Kentucky Derby and that Bluegrass showing up. This horse is this horse was kind of dancing some dances in the spring.
Right.
And then obviously came unglued in the Derby and is coming back. With McPeak, this is tough because McPeak is hot. And man, when he comes off a layoff in a route, you just got to look out. So maybe these are times where if he beats me, he beats me. But he's going to take a lot of money, and he shouldn't. And I think that's going to end up that means for me, the key to this race is the 9th race at Oaklawn on December 12th. And I have number one, the horse that finished second in that race is Dance Some Mo, the 8. Let me just say this. If you're betting horses that break from the 11 hole, you are always praying for them to get a trip like Dance Some Mo did. I mean, what an amazing ground-saving trip that horse had to finish second. The horse that finished third did not save any ground, was coming off of an 8-month layoff, is bred to be good, was sold for a big price to be good, and honestly didn't run that bad. He just got tired at the end, and no surprise after a bit of a slow start, a 4-wide move and a flattening. So Super Cruise, I think, cruises in this race would be my number one take on this.
I'm going to watch a replay. Yeah, go ahead. You can talk about the 2, but I'm going to have a replay up while you're talking about it.
And then the number 2 take on this is that the 10, Mina, who's again Ron Moquette and Luis Saez, is just on straight dope, a pretty solid selection here. Came off the layoff, ran a good race going 7 for 40 at Keeneland, and then encountered the mud, which he doesn't like, at Churchill, and now gets to go long on a track that he has run 4 seconds in 7 starts in. I just think he's going to be a big price, and he can finish second to the 6.
Yeah, we like Mina. Marco, we've played Mina. We played Mina last year. I think you picked him in his maiden breaker on one of our shows. I'm watching the replay here. We had a little bit of issues with your top pick at the beginning of this race. I think you're the 5.
Yeah, he broke poorly.
Yeah, I saw that trouble, and I have a visual of you here. Looks like you're making a nice move now on the outside.
Yep, you're going to see the wide trip from this horse, and you're going to see the golden trip from the horse. Look at this 13 just coming up the seam, saves all the ground, and he's going to outrun him at the end.
Oh wow, yeah, that 2 got caught, huh?
Yeah.
You ran with a lot of interest after darting in and having some other issues. Yeah. Oh, the 2 did finish. That's right. Dan Simone ran.
I just thought he was. I just thought he got tired.
That was a good effort, and the gallop out isn't that bad considering, the issues early, and then when you see horses, you can see you're in the 3-4 path, and when you see him start darting in, he is getting tired. And he's moving on the inside path. That's usually not a recipe for a winning move. But it did, it did try. And you're tightened up now, so not bad. I kind of like that. 3-1. I mean, look, you've run against you're second off the layoff. You're lightly raced, and you haven't run a bad race. So you should be right there. Marco, let's say you're on the 4, who is Gun Runner Charlie. And I will also double up what you said, Steve. Runner Judgment was one of them horses that people were picking in the Kentucky Derby, and I was like, why? And it actually ran a really big race that day. It ran the race of its life. And the rest of this horse's resume is much to be desired. It's pretty muddied up, and I think it's an overrated animal. And I just didn't like. It's very telling that all 3 of us don't even like it to round out our exacta. Marco, Gun Runner Charlie is 12-1.
Pete Miller is having a pretty good meet right now, so I need that PD juice to keep going. Second off the layoff, Vasquez in the irons is having a terrific meet, and I'd like to post position this time better than he was last time. He was out of the 8-hole, kind of was a little wider. I think he's going to get the jump on the Riddle Solver, who I think is going to have the lead. And I think he could be bearing down on him with the outside position earlier than he was last time, because he came off the pace more of last time, and he just could never get there. But I think this time around, I think he could turn the tables on the Riddle Solver and forwardly placed and take them all the way.
Yeah, look, it's a hot barn. He won. Didn't he win today with something? I thought I saw that. But anyway, he's actually, he beat me. My pick of the day yesterday got pounded from 12-1 to 6-5, if you could believe that, at Oaklawn Park.
I saw it. I had that horse too.
And Pete Miller beat me in that race. Yeah.
I liked Marco's pick. I like Marco's pick a lot because the barn, number 1, and then number 2, you move from Saez to Vasquez, which I don't think is necessarily a huge drop from a jock quality standpoint, but it probably means 2 or 3 clicks up on the tote board. And I think that, that alone could be helpful. I sort of felt like the pace was going to be a little too hot in here, which is why I didn't pick this horse, but I support the idea that this horse could run very well.
Yeah. Marco, do you want to say anything about Riddle Solver? It's from Norm Cassie. It just ran a bang out race, and waters are slightly a little bit deeper here.
Yeah, he came in and ran at Oaklawn first time and won, took him all the way around, and got his career best number out of it. And sometimes when they come here and they like this track, they just love it, and sometimes you don't lose on it. So that's to be determined tomorrow. We'll see how much he actually likes Oaklawn.
Well, that looked pretty good there. And it's an interesting race. I mean, we'll see what Render Judgment does. It's a very unattractive morning line favorite. It's been off for a while. It wasn't really that fast of a 3-year-old, and kind of.
I just hope he runs and doesn't scratch, so everybody throws their money on him and makes him the favorite. And that's more for the rest of us.
Yeah, the Bluegrass was a race of its life, and everything else was just kind of like, nothing big. All right. Anything else to add on that? I think we got everything covered. We'll move on to the next race. Next race is the Commodore. It's a restricted stake. I'm assuming this is for horses that never won a sweepstake. Let me look.
Other than state bred. Again, Oaklawn is a conditions, potpourri of interesting conditions at Oaklawn.
All right, so you can win if you're an Archie bred and you won 5 stakes. You can run in this. Is that what you're?
I think if you're a Maryland bred and you won Maryland state bred,
state bred.
Yeah, any state bred. Yeah.
All right, so interesting condition, $135,000 pot, and let's pull up the picks here. Looks like okay, we're kind of a little bit all over the place. We got a couple of 11s in there. Marco, you want to start us off with that 11 on the outside? It is Navy Seal. This is an Archie bred that we know. This one likes to come from the clouds.
I love this horse. This horse, especially more recently, he's been running some of his best races as of late. He loves Oaklawn, second off the layoff, just missed by a nose last out. 10-1. This horse will be coming. This is like, that horse Raymond. He'll go old places.
Yeah, I love Raymond. I picked Raymond.
He was up against it last time he won here because he loves this track.
He loves the track.
Navy Seal will give his all tomorrow, and he will hit the board, and he will give us a thrill at the wire. That I'm sure of. So,
okay,
that's this
I
horse.
agree.
This horse will be at the wire.
Yeah, Stevie D, you got him. You got him as your backup, but so you think he's going to round out your exacta. But your top pick is going to be the 7, Banjo Chris. And now I don't know much about this trainer. We don't have any statistics. Troy Wisner.
I think it's Glenn's son, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay.
It's Glenn Wismer's son. So I mean, I consider this to be basically the same barn. I don't,
Right.
as Glenn.
Okay.
I'll just say this. This horse has been up against Moonlight, Ben Turinado, and Banishing in the 3 starts of his last 5 that he's lost. None of these other horses have been anywhere close to being into that competition, right? Ben Turinado, probably the fastest horse in the world. And so that's why I drifted to the 7, right? Now, what I will say is I'm absolutely fading Safi, the 5, because he's going to be up against it from a pace standpoint. And secondly, he doesn't get Lasix for this race. And I'm very concerned about the fact that I don't think this horse will finish nearly as well as you need him to without the Lasix. I also think that Echo, again, on paper, makes a lot of sense. If you just look at that horse and his speed figures and everything like that, he makes a lot of sense. But I have a very weird theory on Echo again. I don't think Echo again likes new surroundings. And I mean, I'll just take you through the PPs. He goes in November of 24, he's at Churchill. He goes to Oaklawn on January 31st. He throws in a clunker. He moves from Oaklawn back to Churchill. Throws in he runs okay, but he doesn't come anywhere close to winning. He moves from Saratoga. He goes from Churchill to Saratoga, throws in a clunker, then runs 2 good races at Saratoga. Moves from Saratoga to Kentucky, throws in a clunker. It's coming from Kentucky to Oaklawn. I'm expecting another clunker out of the 3 at a low price. So now I've just thrown out the top 2 choices in the race, and God only knows what they're going to do with Steve Asmussen coming off of an 18-month layoff. So I like Banjo Chris, and we'll nose it out on the wire with Marco's pick.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, you make a great point about Concrete Glory, not liking the Lasix. I don't know what happened in that race at Pimlico, but lost at Gulfstream without it. Didn't run bad, but lost. And then the other race, the True North, was a total disaster in the slop. So, good point there. And you made some good points about Echo again as well. I mean,
I think you can fade the top 2 choices in this race.
Very, very good insight on that. I did land on Bourbon Bash because, man, I watched all, if you watch the show, I love pulling up the workouts on video, and I watched all these workouts, and this horse is training like a screaming banshee, and it looks like he just said, all right, hey, enough of this like crazy work stuff. Let's just go easy here on the 20th, and that's what they did. I think this horse is ready to rock. The only thing is it fast enough? It was with the coach. Obviously, the coach is no longer with us. Asmussen got this horse in his barn. It's never run as fast as a couple of these in here, but I think I'm going to get a really big price on this horse and might get an overlay even at the 12-1. And interestingly, Rosario, he jumps back on it since the last time this horse ran, which was almost 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. So I took a stab with this horse just because, we're in a new barn and and it's been working tremendously, and I just wanted to give it a crack.
Love it. Love it. Asmussen riding Rosario instead of his kids will help his win percentage significantly, I think.
Yeah. Marco's always harping on that. The
Hey,
one's my
I'll
backup.
make one. Yeah, I'll make one jockey comment on Banjo Chris. The last time Bejarano was up, he won by 3 1/4 at 17-1. Typically, I'm not a Bejarano on being a positive note kind of guy, but in this case, I think Bejarano has experience on this horse going 6 furlongs, and might be able to dial it up.
Yeah. Wow, we got some interesting plays there where I love your insight on the favorites. We'll see if those come true. And we have some good prices here between the 7, the 6, and Marco is on the 11 Navy Seal, who is hoping to get a hot pace and to catch them all.
Getting a hot pace.
Oh, you're getting it. You're getting it.
This thing's going 21:44.
No doubt.
I mean, they're going to be flying up there.
Yeah, and you know what? I might be part of that with the 6 here, because I know traditionally it doesn't show a lot of speed, but it might be really keen off the year and a half layoff, and with the work tab and everything else being off. I hope Rosario can harness the energy of this horse the first race back. I'm probably going to need one, but I don't know. In case I get that Asmussen magic and I get a possible $30 horse, I wanted to give it a crack. But yeah, Navy Seal late, Concrete Glory early, and we'll see what happens with everything in between. All right, we move on to the next race. The next race is the big one, guys. It's a Kentucky Derby prep. It's a prep for the Arkansas Derby as well. It's the Smarty Jones, and we all remember Smarty Jones. He was on the cover of Sports Illustrated. He won every race in Arkansas with ease. He won the Derby easy. He won the Preakness easy, and we all know what happened in the Belmont, where Elliott pushed the button a little bit too early and crapped the bed. And you remember the call, by the way. Birdstone wins the Belmont Stakes.
Yeah, I was there. Easily one of the most exciting moments of my life when he burst into the stretch leading, and 120,000 people went nuts. And the transition from the volume of the cheering to the silence was, I mean, it was incredible. It was like a funeral. It was really something else. One of the best live sports experiences I've ever been to, that kind of ended, like not great.
The only thing I can think that is similar to that day would be the day that Zenyatta lost the Classic to Blame.
That's probably true. That's a really good point, Steve-O.
Yeah, that would be a very close second. But I remember that because we were clamoring for a Triple Crown winner, and we didn't get it until a few years. Well, was
11 years later. 11 years
not
later.
Justified. It wasn't
American Pharaoh.
American Pharaoh. So anyway, this is the Derby points. I'm trying to, let's see, what does it say here? Does it have the Derby points in here? There are points for the Derby. I can't make it out. I don't even know if it says anything here, but trust me, folks, this is a prep for the Arkansas and the Kentucky Derby. And we've got, well, there's nothing nominated. There are Derby points, right, for this?
There should be.
There should be, right? Okay. And maybe somebody can help us out there that are watching. But anyway, you have, there's a, Further Ado is not in here. We have a big runner skipping this race, going straight to the Southwest for $1 million later. And, but it's still a neat little field. And for our picks, well, it's not it. Everybody likes the 3 in here, whether we like it on top or if we like it to finish second. Marco, you got it finishing second. Me and you flip-flopped our picks. But the 3 is Boca Beach Club. Now, I watched this horse run live at Hawthorne, and it was a very impressive race that day.
Is this the best 2-year-old on the grounds at Hawthorne? I mean, was this the best 2-year-old debut at Hawthorne?
I had to be, unless Larry had something.
I don't think Larry had anything run at Hawthorne that was this good.
Yeah, so Uncle Jimmy had this one, and this one crushed by 5. And I did pick it last time, and just got going a little bit too late. But I did pull up. It did come back with a really nice, a couple of nice works. And I'm looking at the breeding of this horse. You know, you got a nice little sibling here, Promise of Spring, who is stakes placed. Routing, did win a allowance race at Fairgrounds. Routing, you know, did some nice things. So that one was by Drosselmeyer. Of course, Boca Beach Club is by Omaha Beach. They only spent $25,000, but this didn't come up that tough of a race. And I think this horse moves up a lot going from Santana, who struggled at the meet with only, I want to say 1 win or no wins at the meet so far, to Luis Saez, who we've talked about a lot on the show already. That's going to move this horse up, and I think the breeding is there with the siblings to get the distance. Keep in mind, guys, this is not the short stretch of the mile. The Southwest is the short stretch. They go from a mile and 16th in the Smarty Jones. They go to a short stretch of the mile in the Southwest, and then they stretch back out to a mile 16th in the Rebel, and then they go 9 furlongs in the Arkansas Derby. I'm not sure why they do that, but that is the case here. Steve, can you piggyback on anything?
Horse, yeah, this is a very old school approach, right? I think most trainers would have taken the horse, would have waited on the horse till the mile race, right? Till the Southwest. So they'd given a horse the time and shrunk the distance, right? DeVito is going, no. I'm running the horse when he's good, and I don't care about the distance, which I think is very interesting. I don't know what will work or what won't, but most your Chad Browns, your Brad Coxes, they're all waiting on horses. This guy's running back in 3 weeks.
3 weeks.
Which
3 weeks.
Is fantastic, and that's the way horses that are going good should be run, right? And get it done. Secondly, Oaklawn presents a very difficult situation. If this horse was running earlier at Keeneland, maybe this horse would have gone 7 furlongs, or at Gulfstream, it would go 7 furlongs, or at Santa Anita. But you're going to have to make the jump from 5.5 to mile and a 16th. The breeding is what gives me the confidence that it can, with the mine shaft underneath and the sibling that's already run, as a stakes winner going a long distance. I just think this is the best horse in the race. That's what I ultimately got to. And a kind of a bad, I don't know if it was a bad ride or just unlucky circumstances in the last. And Dirty Rich can run. I mean, that is a runner. Like, this horse was in tough. In that 5.5 furlong race. So I just think you can't take too short of a price, because you are going 3 furlongs longer than you've ever been. But I think it's worth the risk at this point.
Yeah, Dirty Rich trained by Pete Miller.
Field of not real great horses.
Mm-hmm. Dirty Rich is trained by Pete Miller, and he trains for speed, and that one got away that day. And we tried to reel that one in that day, and we quite couldn't do it. And Decode is the big horse on the grounds right now, popped with a triple-digit buyer speed figure, and they're skipping this race going straight to the Southwest. So that tells me, DeVito's like, okay, like you said, why wait 3 weeks rest? We don't have to run against Decode. We've got to beat Kenny McPeak with Universe. Marco, tell me about this horse. This one is not a Decode. Although it has run in some, all the marquee races as a 2-year-old.
Yeah, ran in all the graded stakes races. So I mean, he's tested. And I thought those were a little bit tougher than a lot of these ran in. Like, say, Brad Cox's Rancho Santa Fe. I think both of those races were more. I don't think really anything came out of any of those races that did anything spectacular. So I tossed that one. I should be prominent early, right there in the mix of things. And I don't think the distance should be a problem. It ran second in both of those graded stakes races. I mean, the connections are, top notch. It's nothing special. It's 3-1, so it's supposed to be there at the end.
Yeah, I made it my default backup pick. It's kind of unsexy. It Further Ado kind of toyed with it in the Kentucky Jockey Club, and Further Ado is well known for winning by 20 lengths before that at Keeneland. The horse that you mentioned, Rancho Santa Fe, a little bit of a breather. I like the breeding on the horse to go long. It's run a mile and 16th and 1. It ran a good race in October and it won. It wasn't, flying off the screen. You do have 2 next out winners in there for Rancho Santa Fe, so I'll tip my cap to that. But I feel like the price will be a little bit too short there. And Stevie D on the 9. That's your backup pick, Sleeping on Freedom. Kenny McPeak, the other Kenny McPeak, with Brian Hernandez Jr., ran on a sloppy track after winning on a fast strip at Keeneland sprinting. That one kind of makes a little bit of sense too.
My thoughts here are, well, let's just put it this. This is based on the trip he had in his last. Imagine just being stuck in neutral for like a quarter of a mile and just having mud sprayed in your face for like 24 seconds. That's what this horse did. He was just in neutral the whole time, just under a hold, had nowhere to go. You'll note he went from 4th to 6th to 8th in the middle of the race, and then came back and won. Watch the video and you'll see what I'm talking about. Now, I will say this, he saved all the ground, but at a certain point in time, he did not accelerate during the part of the race when he was able to accelerate. So I'm going to go, and he finished with the 75 buyer speed figure. Could that horse run 10? Is that horse 3 lengths better, 4 lengths better? Maybe, and that could get it done here. I really like both my picks in here.
That 9, we were talking about a horse last year that had a similar trip and had some issues and exploded and won. Sovereignty. We were talking about that one, and you made a key. You were the one that out of our group, you were the first one to say that's the Kentucky Derby winner.
It might be the only good horse playing accomplishment of 2025 for me. So let's, a broken clock is right twice a day.
But I remember early on when, he was maybe outside the top 5. You were one of the guys that noticed one of his trips early on in the prep. And I think he ran second even. And you were like, this horse is going to run a big race and probably be win the Kentucky Derby. And that's exactly what happened. But yeah, this is going to be an interesting race. I got to get clarity though. I'm almost positive this is points for the Kentucky Derby.
I'm sorry, Steve-O. It's 10 points to the winner. It's got 21 total points. It's 10 points to the winner. So it's a minor race on that scale.
Okay.
10 to first, 5 to second, 3 to third, 2 to fourth, and 5 to 1.
Okay.
Or I'm sorry, 1 to 5th place.
All right. So winning it would, not get you in, but it's going to help you if you hit the board somewhere else. And, maybe you can parlay this with a clunker in the Rebel or Arkansas Derby and go into the Lexington, so to speak, and somehow get lucky and punch your ticket. All right. So it's going to be a cool little race. Not the most talented, early on Derby prep, but Boca Beach Club, I'm excited. Stevie, we'll see if this one can do something for Uncle Jimmy. Now, do you take any? Do you have any reservations on the sales price compared to the price for the stud fee? Should I be worried about that? I mean, obviously the horse hasn't been affected in the afternoons.
I'm guessing this horse didn't. I'm guessing this horse didn't vet very well. But when horses like that go to an old school guy like Jim DeVito, I think he knows how to, he doesn't push him and knows how to work through it.
Okay, that makes sense.
I've got a couple of other things for horse players to maybe think about
Yes,
here.
definitely.
One is like, what do you do with the 4 silent tactic for Mark Casse, who keeps his horses in Canada during the summer, or keeps a lot of his stock in Canada during the summer. And that means runs on polytrack, right? And so now you're moving to dirt. It doesn't mean the horse doesn't like dirt. In fact, and they paid $500,000 for a son of Tacitus. The self-interest in me wants this horse to win this race because I have a daughter of Tacitus in my stable.
Okay.
Yes, who sadly had a little setback, and we'll be waiting on till probably February or March to see her run. But that's sort of an interesting one. I think that comes up during 3-year-old season with some of the good stables and some of the real well-bred horses that are up in Canada. Josie Carroll had one yesterday in the Cash Run that ran 3rd, did okay. But the second one is Javier Castellano coming to Oaklawn to ride this state-bred winner, Mark Casse's other horse, who won the In Reality by 9. But my goodness, I mean, that was, those horses were terrible. I mean, I remember that race, and I just don't get it. I don't know why you would want to be on the Derby trail with this horse, Javier Castellano. Maybe he didn't have any other options yesterday or tomorrow, but I just find it to be a little weird. If this horse is less than, I just don't think this horse has much of a chance. That's all I'll say.
Okay. 6-1 on the morning line. Yeah, it's a Florida bred that beat. Well, it ran in one of those big races. I remember Big Drama, a Florida bred that swept all those races out there, and then it went on and ran in like the Fountain of Youth and all that. I'm wondering why Mark Casse would send this horse all the way over here, though, when you can run in those races out there. So that's kind of a head scratcher. But again, the race,
I will say this: his stable is totally loaded, so he may just be looking for geographic diversity at this point. Like that. That's. Yeah. I mean, he probably doesn't want to run them all against each other. He's running 2 against each other here. So I mean, he is loaded this year.
Yeah, it's going to be a fun race. We'll see how it unfolds, but nonetheless, a Derby prep for the local Arkansas Derby, and of course, potentially the Kentucky Derby down the line. Okay, let's move on to the nightcap to finish the Pick 6 or the Classix sequence. This is a other than 4-year-olds and up, and we're going 3/4. And the picks are such. Stevie, you're praying, and I don't know if it's going to happen because you're going to need a couple of scratches. But Marco, this is a horse that I think you picked earlier on the meet, and you probably poo-pooed it because you're thinking it's not going to get in. It is entered January 4th in case it doesn't get in here. But Stevie, tell me about B-Sud.
You know what? B-Sud is B-Sud's a pace play more than anything. He's run really well here. He had trouble in his last. I think B-Sud runs an 85 Beyer speed figure here, which I think is good enough to get it done if some of the horses that I believe will be on the pace don't run particularly well. Right. And I mean, that's I think the 7 is going to the front. I've got the 1 going to the front. I've got the 5 going to the front. I've got the 11 going to the front. I think it's going to be a hot pace. And if B-Sud is fortunate enough to draw in from the AEs, I think he can run them down. But
yeah, I agree.
But I like your horse too. A horse that can sit just off of it and is claimed by a medical trainer.
Yeah, Armando Hernandez, if you look with the sample here, what is that, 7 out of 12
Yeah.
wins off the claim, and that's pretty impressive. He protects this horse here, and I mentioned the second time blinkers angle. I love that. Doesn't need the lead and has a good has a lot of good drills before and after the last race, but the local drills, well, the last drill in particular, I went and watched a replay of it. I like the way it moved, and you get Manny Esquivel in the irons, who was doing good early on, a little bit cold now, but the trainer just pops with this move, and I'm hoping I can sit in a pocket, second flight, behind some of these speedy horses that are lightly raced. You mentioned a few of them already. I mean, the 5 and the 6, are maiden breakers facing winners for the first time. They're very fast, although the 5 has been off for a very, very long time. It's one that's been working very, very fast, probably going to be very keen early. The pace is going to be sizzling. Marco, the 11 is Stiglitz. I guess you're going to inject a little pace into this. Are you just liking the outside pace? You'll see things develop, or you're going to get the jump here? What is your idea with Stiglitz for D'Amato?
Well, if this horse does not get the lead, I don't think he needs it, but he's definitely going to be prominent early. If the 14 gets in, I'll be playing the 14.
You played that 14 last time, and I had some trouble. I remember.
I had some trouble, and I had some will pays with it too. And it was 12-1 that day. I would have won a bunch of money. I like the way he ran. I think he can, if he gets in and runs that same race without all that trouble, he has a shot to win at a big price.
Mm-hmm.
But I just don't know if he's going to get in. You need 2 scratches.
It's hard at Oaklawn. People don't like to scratch, and gosh, you're right. If it gets in, and it's one of those things where I'm glad you picked it, Stevie, because it's one of those things where I just kind of like, that horse ain't going to get in. Why even talk about it? Well, what if it did get in? So I'm glad you mentioned it. And I know, Marco, you were probably going to talk about it, because that's why I didn't pick it, because you picked it last time and you had some will pays in your horizontal wagers. So the 14, if it gets in, is a must add to your verticals and your horizontal wagers. Marco, I'm going to watch a replay. You mentioned that the 11.
Yeah, and this horse should be in perfect form right now as well.
Yeah, you mentioned that the 11 doesn't need the lead. Now, this is the maiden score last year. We are the 8 horse, and the chart shows that it rated pretty nicely in this race. It was able to get the job done.
Faust bobbled a little bit,
You
recovered
break
very
well.
quickly. Town Hero has to steady off of heels, drops to the back. Improbable Luck showing speed from the
Who are we
inside.
watching here, Steve?
In front by
The
about
8
a half length early.
Stiglitz. This is the maiden breaker, Marco's top
Stiglitz
pick.
is third.
He's
The
sitting
Brave
4th
Faust
on the
within a length
outside,
and 3/4
and he
of the
shows
lead.
the ability
2.5
to rate
lengths
here
to 13
and still
G's.
win the race. And by the
Energized
way,
shuffle back to
he
big
was 18-1
midfield
that day, Marco.
between horses, Flawless Beast. There's a gap of 2 lengths back to Sports Hero. Then comes Septimus, who's second to last, and Town Hero's at the back as they go into the far turn. Improbable Luck into the turn, the leader a half length from Fanatical, who's chasing hard from the outside second.
This is the trip you're looking for, Marco.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would love to have this trip. And coming from the 11 hole, I think you might be forced into it without burning him up early.
And then behind horses is Town Hero. He's got to get going. 7 behind. Energized not picking up the pace. Looks like the sprint distance wasn't great for him today. They're down the lane here.
Look at him battle here with this 4.
In front. Alongside is Stiglitz. Outside, Faust has gotten a good trip.
Oh, Faust is the horse that I picked that day.
Driving for the line with a 16th to go. Fanatical. Here's Faust on the outside. Between them is Stiglitz. Stiglitz is going to win at 18-1.
I remember this race now because I picked Faust that day off of 2 trip notes, and it lost again. But Stiglitz, if you can get that same trip today, and you're already fast. I mean, that last race was pretty good. You got caught late, but you went 45 flat over there at Churchill Downs. So if you can get that same trip at a track that you already like, that you won at, Stiglitz does look a little bit dangerous. Stevie, did we talk about the 9 is my top pick, your backup. We talked about that one. Marco, the 6, is Vital Mind for Asmussen, who is one of those maiden breaker winners. This one has some recency, at least. It ran in November, whereas the 5, we haven't seen that one in years.
Yeah, he's just firing right now, and there's a big purchase price on this horse. I mean, this might, I don't know. He just looks like, I mean, if this horse is it, he should win this race and then move on to a stake after this. I don't know what kind of horse we're going to get, but it looks pretty damn good.
Yeah, that's interesting. Came along slow. It might have had a problem early. We didn't see it till, well, it ran its debut in March, and as a 3-year-old, and then we didn't see it until the fall. So I don't know, quarter crack, something else going on, but it's fast nonetheless. And yeah, if it wins here, I'm sure he would circle something overnight. There's a lot of stake races, big pots out there at Oaklawn. It's going to be a fun day, guys. It's going to be a fun race. The Smarty Jones is going to be interesting. I hope Uncle Jimmy gets it done for our sake. Little Chicago action there. I did want to. So, Stevie, how was your New Year's? I want to bring up. I like to talk about, I like to talk about football this time of year, and I got 3 games here these are the 3 games everybody's talking about this weekend. We got the Ravens at Pittsburgh, we got Carolina at Tampa, and we got Seattle at San Francisco. I want to know who you think is going to win each of these games. And furthermore, I want your explicit opinion on the Ravens-Pittsburgh game. I know you are a Steelers fan. Tell me a little bit about this game. What do we know? What's the play?
You'll note my title is president of the Fire Mike Tomlin Society. That's what I'm listed on the StreamYard. And by the way, I've been in charge of the Fire Mike Tomlin Society for 12 years. It's not a newfound thing.
12 years.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've been, absolutely. I just don't think the Steelers are in any position to really contend for a Super Bowl championship with him at the helm. And so what I'll say about let's do the other 2 first. Tampa, okay. Carolina. Our mutual friend Rich Nelson and I are in a football poll together. Midway through the year, we were talking about Baker Mayfield as MVP and Tampa as a Super Bowl contender. They have fallen apart. I don't totally understand why, but I think Carolina gets it done.
I'm in agreement.
Carolina gets it done there. Seattle or San Francisco? I'll tell you, San Francisco is really impressive, and they may have beaten the other most impressive team in the league last week. And by the way, not handily, but I think I'll take San Francisco over Seattle. Ravens, Pittsburgh. The Steelers cannot beat the Ravens team that showed up last week and dusted Green Bay. They cannot beat that team. They won't be able to score enough points. That being said, there's a rookie defensive lineman for the Steelers who PFF or whatever the statistical gurus say, he is so amazing against the run. He changes the game. When he's in. He was out for several weeks for the Steelers this week. His name's Harmon, and he was out for several weeks in the middle of the year. The Steelers gave up tons of running yards. They really haven't been able to run on the Steelers recently, which is fascinating. It's hard to believe that one rookie defensive lineman could make such a difference. I'll give you the one other pro Steelers tip. Other than the idiot DK Metcalf, who will not be playing because he's suspended, the Steelers don't have a single injury designation this week. Every single player on the roster is healthy, practiced all week, including TJ Watt. So they will be at full force this week. I think it'll be close. It will depend almost entirely on It'll depend entirely on the performance of the Steelers' running game and a wide receiver named Calvin Austin, who was not in last week. He was injured. He was in, I think he was concussion protocol last week, so he was out, but he is cleared to play this week, and he's the only wide receiver threat that the Steelers have. So we'll see.
Did you mention
I have
Watt?
to pick the Steelers because that's where my heart is.
Did you mention Watt? I heard Watt was coming back.
Watt will be playing. Yeah, Watt was a full participant in practice this week.
Yeah, that's pretty big. And here's Harmon. I'm looking at the picture of this guy. Man, he looks like
He's a monster.
Marco, you remember Keith Traylor on the Bears about 25 years ago?
I think that's a really, really good comparison.
That's what he looks like.
5 years ago?
I could.
That
Well,
was 25 years ago?
2001, bro. Remember the
Oh
team that
my
went 13-3?
gosh.
Yeah,
Wow.
we're getting old, bro. But man, this guy looks like a beast, like a run. Like you ain't getting. He's the immovable object. Yeah, the Steelers are at home. They got pride. I think Aaron Rodgers. It's big for his. There's a lot of infighting, a lot of weird things going on at Baltimore. Some weird.
I'm going for the Steelers.
Yeah, there's some weird stuff going on with Lamar Jackson. And we know Rich Nielsen's the biggest homer for Lamar, and there's rumors of him. Like if they lose this game, like he's going to be traded.
Oh yeah, I think Lamar wants out.
Yeah, he wants out, or they might fire. Well, I guess the loser of this game, the coach might get fired.
This is the dilemma for me.
Yeah,
Which is I can root for the Steelers to win this game only to get blown out by the Bills probably in the first round of the playoffs. Or I can root for the Steelers to lose this game and the possibility that Tomlin gets fired. But here's the deal. That isn't a possibility. It's not going to happen. I'm telling you right now. It's just,
if he goes to the playoffs, they don't. The Bears fired Lovie Smith in 2011 when they went 10-6. They missed the playoffs, and they fired him.
That's ridiculous.
Right, and they were terrible for many years until 2018 when they had the 1 year wonder, and now it looks like we got our act together. But when you fire a coach that brings you to the playoffs, but he's become the Doc Rivers of the NFL. He'll get you to the playoffs, but much like Doc Rivers, he'll get bounced in the first or second round and not do anything. So it is a tough spot, but you're in a no-lose situation. You win, you're happy, you're moving on. Who knows? Buffalo, the AFC is wide open. Maybe they get hot. The defense, if the defense can turn on a switch and get like the Houston Texans defense, then, or what we saw from Miami Hurricanes the other night, why not? I mean, Aaron Rodgers can maybe find a renaissance. You got two good backs that are, Warren's running the ball well. Gainwell is getting all the check downs. You got like 5 tight ends that you can throw to. You don't really have a great wide receiver core, especially with Metcalf out. Metcalf is more of a big body, 50-50 ball kind of guy. He's a physical specimen, but you do need him, I will admit. And I thought the 2-game suspension was a little harsh. Maybe it should have been 1, but I don't know. That story is bizarre in its own right. I think Carolina is going to beat Tampa. Tampa's reeling. I don't know what's going on there either. Ever since Mike Evans came back, it kind of screwed up the whole wide receiver room. And Bucky Irving just can't stay healthy. Yeah. And then Frisco, the 2 things. It's hard to stop them. And Sam Darnold shits the bed in big games. So
I think you're right there.
Marco, do you have any input on these games?
I think Frisco looks like they're firing right now. They're not even healthy 100%. So they look like the team to beat right now in the playoffs, I think. I think they're going to win the division and go pretty far.
Oh, yeah, they'll get the bye.
I still think the best coached and the best quarterbacked team is the LA Rams, and that's who I would go with. Despite some truly inexplicable losses, I still think
some heartbreakers.
I still think that they if you had to ask me who's the Super Bowl winner, I'm still going with the Rams right now.
Yeah, Devontae Adams will come back. That opens up everything.
Yep.
Puka doesn't get the rollover safety as much. It's a big deal to have him in there.
The catch or the non-catch that Puka made at the end of the Falcons game, at the end of the Monday night game last week, I think might be the greatest catch I've ever, the greatest non-catch I've ever seen. Yeah. I mean, the fact that he reeled that in and put 2 feet on inbounds, and then of course it came an inch out of his hands for a moment, and then he grabbed it back. Yeah. Truly amazing. Truly
amazing. In the scenario of it. I mean, that's
by the way, and everyone knows he's going to them. Like like the defense has 3 guys surrounding him. He still gets out. He's remarkable. He's remarkable.
Real quick before we go, just to recap a couple of things from what we saw yesterday and the day before. Ohio State, I was kind of surprised. Ryan Day just did not have that team prepared, and it's almost like they're like, oh, we're in a game at a halftime, and then let's start playing in the third quarter. I thought it was a very poor coaching job by Ryan Day. But Cignetti, Kurt Cignetti for Indiana is if he wins this with Indiana, wins this national title, he's gonna go down as one of the top 3 or 4 coaches.
This guy was the head coach at Indiana University, my mother's alma mater, Indiana University of Pennsylvania, 10 years ago. Think about that. It's just incredible.
And he's done some amazing things. SEC's down, it looks like. Texas Tech, Marco, I mean, I know you were kind of high on him. To get shut out, I'm scratching my head because James Madison had almost 500 yards on Oregon. Now, I know Oregon probably called off the Dogs late in that game, but still, 500 yards. Texas Tech couldn't get a point. Yeah. This whole thing is so weird. The game last night, Kirby Smart just shit the bed. Terrible coaching.
That was a good game last night.
Yeah, but how do you not punt the ball on your own 30-yard line? I mean, what are you doing?
I was pulling for Ole Miss, so.
Well, I was too. Because of the backstory of Lane Kiffin leaving, I just heard stories today. The portal window is open. The whole coaching staff is like.
I've heard they're going to lose 6 coaches.
They're talking about leaving. It's like, man, that's so bizarre. Yeah. The whole thing is weird.
I think this is Indiana's championship to lose. I really do. And I think it's Indiana's championship to lose. But the U, I think, could find a way to win. And what by the way, what does that all come down to? Coaches and quarterbacks, right? That quarterback for the U is rock solid.
He's seasoned. He's been around. He was at Georgia.
And he is not going to encounter a situation that gets on his nerves. I think Old Miss's quarterback was amazing last night, but what I read was he holds the ball way too long and takes a lot of chances. Now, it all worked out for him last night. But there will be a defense that he will play against
next week. Yeah. I mean, they're playing Miami.
They're a bet against next week for sure.
Yeah,
that was their Super Bowl. That was their Super Bowl.
I agree. They wanted to win one game to prove that Lane wrong. But yeah, I think they're going to bounce to the moon next week.
I love it, guys. Well, hey, Happy New Year, Stevie. I'll see you here and there.
I don't know, man. I don't know when we're going to see each other.
Well,
you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to play all of our picks in a pick 6 tomorrow, and if I hit that pick 6, I'll be double ticketed in the Oaklawn tournaments.
I love it.
It's poker night. I'm out of here.
All right, take care, guys. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
We'll talk soon. Bye-bye, everybody.